Hello Zane gang, today I will be showing you the best weapons for Zane. So when I made my max DPS video, or my updated one anyways, I didn't realize a lot of people thought you needed to use those 4 weapons to use the build. Well, that's not the case, and that's what today's video is. I'm going to show you all the alternatives of every weapon. So I'll be showing you 5 weapons for each slot. Now when testing these weapons, I will be using the same modifiers. I will just suicide myself to run with the same modifiers on the boss again. And then at the end of this video, I will show you my favorite loadouts, so make sure to stay tuned. Let's get into it. Alright, so we will be starting with slot 1, which is shock weapons. We will be fighting General Trant with all of the shock weapons. Here's our modifiers that all 5 shock weapons will be using. Now something I would like to mention as well is I will go through 4 world drop weapons, and then the 5th weapon will always be a farmable weapon. So I will show you a farmable weapon in each slot. By farmable, I mean you could farm the same bots and it'll eventually drop, because it's a specific drop. So let's get into slot 1. For the very first weapon, I will be using the Chaos. The Chaos is an assault rifle that shoots very fast and deals good shock damage. Now it's not always shock, but you can get a shock variant. I have an anointed one, but it's not towards Zane. So let's go try it out on Trant. I've been using the Chaos for a long time. It's one of my OG weapons. I think it's really high DPS on this weapon. It's great for Zane because you can just run around and shoot it. Don't need to be pointing straight at an enemy standing still, you know, like a sniper rifle. You can just jump around and free fire that baby. There you go. That is the Chaos. Weapon number 2 for this slot will be the Crossroad. I have the Shock Crossroad. The Crossroad is just a very high DPS weapon in general. It can come in all variants, but the Shock version is pretty good. Only version I really use. On Zane anyways. Now, this is a very versatile slot, the Shock slot. There's a lot of weapons you can use here. You just need something that's dealing a lot of shock damage. Oof. Obviously, with max DPS Zane, you go down a lot. There you go. That is the Shock Crossroad. For the third weapon, we will be using the Brainstormer. Now, I have a very good Brainstormer variant. I have a good anointed one, and just good stats on it in general. It's a nice shotty if you get it to drop. If you use this thing, you know it's godly. It's really good on Amara, but Zane can use it pretty well too. Good for chaining shields.
Just gotta look at me.
Oof, I got stuck. There we go. Wait for our abilities to come back quick. Yeah, if you crit with this baby, you can deal some good damage. Look at that, that's awesome. There you go, that's weapon number 3, the Brainstormer. This is weapon number 4 from the Bloody Harvest event, and you can get the weapon called the Fearmonger. Now you can get the shock variant. If you get the shock variant, it's actually pretty good for the slot. It has a lot of damage on it. I have an anointed one that applies terror to myself, which actually isn't the best thing for Zane, because this isn't really a terror build, but it's still a good high DPS weapon in general. Let's go test her out. This weapon is very easily fillable, like I have said before. I would throw on some shock weapons you currently have, and you might be surprised that they're actually very good. Look at that. That's crazy. This is almost doing better than the Brainstormer. There you go. That is the Fearmonger. For the last weapon of the shock slot, we have the Shocking 9-volt. You get this from Kilovolt. It is a farmable weapon. I will have the video in the description. But this is a good budget weapon. If you can't get a good shock weapon to drop, just farm this, and it can still do the job. It's going to be a little bit longer, but it'll still do it. I do enjoy this weapon. I'd use it occasionally. A nice anointed one would probably be pretty crazy, I imagine. But as you can see, it can still do the job. We have the same modifiers. It is neutral here. And there you go. That is all 5 of the weapons for the shock slot. Alright, slot 2 is the fire DPS weapon. Here's our modifiers we will be using. We'll be going over 5 weapons again. For the very first weapon, we have the fire conference call. Alright, we will be fighting Rampager since he's a good flesh enemy to hit. Not the strongest fire weapon in the world, but it can still do the job. We will not be killing Rampager for these tests. We'll just be showing this off. Great weapon to jump around with, because you don't really have to be that accurate. Now his second stage, he's more weak to fire than his first stage. So he would take more damage on his second stage, but it's still doing good damage. I'm actually impressed. I wasn't impressed in my first few times of using this weapon. But it's good if you use it in the right spots. There you go, that is the conference call. For weapon number 2, we have the Fire Butcher. Now this weapon was already nerfed because it was too strong when the game first launched. I have a nice anointed one that regenerates ammo when switching with clone, but there's no need to do that because it already does its job well. Now this is a weapon that's going to optimize on hitting that crit spot. A nice Hyperion fast shotty. So when he's down like this, that's when you can get him. Where'd he go? Stop. Get down from there, Rampager. Did just about as good as the conference call. That is the Butcher. Alright, for weapon 3, we have the Fire Crossroad. You saw this with my shock. Now I have a fire one that's pretty good as well. Just a really high DPS SMG that doesn't take much accuracy. Oh yeah, this is great. Now this is a weapon slot that is kind of hard to fill. Because you can't just use any fire weapon that exists. It does have to be a higher DPS weapon. So you need a really fast shotty, fast SMG, pistol, whatever you could do. There you go, that's number 3 with the Crossroad. For weapon number 4, I will be using the Fire Cutspin. I have a very good Fire Cutspin. Let's test it out on Mr. Rampager. There you go, that is number 4, the Cutspin. For weapon number 5, we have the Hellfire. This is a farmable SMG. It's an Eden 6, the Voracious Canopy, and the Jabbermire is the thing you kill, if I said it right. I farmed for a nice anointed one today. This isn't the best weapon for this slot, but it's definitely a nice farmable one. It can still do the job. Again, it cannot amount to some of the other world drops I use, but if you really cannot find something good for this slot, you can use this. It does do the job better than a lot of weapons. Especially if you got a good anointed one. It's not a hard weapon to farm, so it wouldn't be hard to get a perfect anointed. I also love how this weapon looks. It fits with my skin a lot, has that nice fire look with it. Getting him down there. It's doing the job. Still got a lot of ammo left too. I'm sure you could get a nice ×2 one, which would do more damage too. There you go, that is the Hellfire for the farmable slot 2 weapon. Alright, for slot 3, we have the DPS slot. Now this slot basically is just for getting yourself up if you go down in boss fights, or just running through areas quick, getting kills if you have to. This slot is easily filled by so many weapons, but I'll show you just 5 of the ones that I have. Here's our modifiers. Switch so you can see them. It was hard to get perfect modifiers, but this is the best I could get that didn't put cryo and normal damage up or down. We did get gun damage up, but whatever, we're just gonna run with it. So we're gonna do this in the proving grounds just to show you how you can kill some mobs with this weapon. Yeah, this is a very strong weapon, and that's what you need for this slot. It's just something that kills fast. It gets you up if you go down in the boss fight.
It's the real Zane! There!
We get a few more kills. Alright, there you go. That is the Star Hellix. As you can see, it kills mobs very fast. Our second weapon is the Nighthawk Gann with a good anointment on it too. Yeah, this weapon kills insanely fast. Probably faster than the Hellix, actually. Especially when you proc that anointment. There you go. That is the Nighthawk Gann for slot number 2. Ooh, a loot skull. Let's get to number 3. For the third weapon of this slot, we got the Tsunami, an anointed one, but the anointment won't be proccing right now. You can farm this from Katagawa Ball. Just a very fast SMG that can kill. It's farmable. It can do this job pretty good.
Did you see that?
Yeah, look at how fast it killed that skull. Wow, this thing's crazy. I haven't used it in a minute. Pretty satisfying. Holy skulls. Let's see if it can do its job. Easily. Alright, there you go. That is the third weapon for this slot, the Tsunami. For weapon number 4, we will be using the Sleeping Giant. I have a good anointed one. Let's check her out. I haven't actually used this weapon before, but I've heard a lot of people say it's very good. Oh, wow. Look at this baby go. Why haven't I been using this weapon? Like I said, this weapon, or this slot, is very easy to fill with any, like, fast, accurate weapon. You don't want to be using, like, a Cutspin. You don't want a slow charge weapon. You want something that's going to be accurate and it shoots really fast. Deal a lot of damage. And when you are in fight for your life, you're going to want to be moving around. Yeah, this weapon's great. You just gotta look for those crit spots, and you can keep living with this weapon. These weapons are all pretty great for running through proving grounds too. Alright, that is slot number 4, or that is weapon number 4, the Sleeping Giant. Alright, for the 5th weapon of this slot, the farmable weapon is the Hand of Glory. It's not exactly farmable, but you get it from a mission. You probably already have this weapon at max level. It does actually really good for mobbing. I will showcase it now. See, it can do the job great. Just land some nice crits, and they'll die fast. You can even shoot at long range with it, which is great. Let's kill these enemies. So can it get me up? Yep, perfect. Yeah, I love this weapon. I've liked it since I got it. And it works great for this slot, so I do have time to use it every now and then. There you go. That is the last weapon for the DPS slot. Alright, for our last slot, it is your corrosive DPS weapon. Here are our modifiers I will be using for all 5 weapons. Now let's start it with the first gun. We will be farming Agonizer because he's a really armored enemy. First weapon will be the Trevin Ater. I have a decent anointed one.
Want the vault thief to die? We got moderators standing by.
Let's get into this. Pretty good damage. Especially if you can hit on the crit spots. I'm actually kind of impressed. There we go. Get ourselves up with our DPS weapon. We'll probably just take him like down half health with each weapon. Oof.
Kidding me. Now for the audience participation.
There we go. Getting there.
Show them all how sharp your teeth are.
That is the Trevin Ater. You can get a nice corrosive one. For the second weapon, we will be using the Nemesis. Now, this is a pretty good pistol. Definitely gonna need to hit the crits with this baby. It'll still do the job. The Thorns would do about the same thing here, I bet.
Who's hungry for some barbecue?
Just gotta keep hitting those crit spots. I was trying to switch to my corrosive weapon on accident. There we go. Get ourselves back up. I use this weapon a lot for like running to haunt to take out like the shield projector things. Works great for that. It's very accurate.
Make some noise, you filthy animal. Here's a fan favorite. A big giant knife.
Oof. Stole my kill there, Agonizer.
All eyes on you, Vault Thief.
Get our abilities back out to get our DPS up. There you go. That is the Nemesis for weapon 2. Here's weapon 3. This isn't exactly a Zane weapon, but it is a really good corrosive weapon in general. It's the Hive. It's farmable. You can farm the Tarantula on Pandora. Anyways, let's test it out on Agonizer. Even your cloneless weapon's actually really good too. The rockets just home in and hit the targets. You can just spin around the arena and shoot it a bunch. Oh yeah, there you go. That's the Hive. That's number 3. For weapon number 4, we have my good old Cutspin. It's anointed with status effect chance and damage. Test this baby out on Agonizer. Almost as good as the Hive. There you go. That is the Cutspin on slot 4. Alright, for the last weapon, we have the Smart Gun. The Smart Gun is farmable from Gigamind. It is a decent corrosive SMG. I don't care for TDR as much, but it's a nice farmable corrosive you can use. Now let's try it out on Agonizer. May not be the strongest thing in the world, but it can still get the job done. You can also pre-throw the weapon to deal a little bit more damage if you'd like. Definitely budget. It does not compete with the other weapons, but it is the farmable choice. The Hive is also farmable.
Here's a fan favorite, a big giant knife.
If you do want to use this weapon as a turret too, you can just throw a bunch on the ground. And let's shoot little turret bullets at them.
Hey, giant, get back.
Can still get the job done, that's for sure. Take a little bit longer. But if Agonize is where you want to go farm right away, get the Smart Mine from Gigamind. Or Smart Gun from Gigamind, and you could farm them. Better than a lot of people do to farm them, trust me. I've seen some cringy fights. There you go, that is the Smart Gun for the farmable weapon on slot 5. We had a lot of fun trying all those 20 weapons out, which can all be used pretty good. Some of them were better than others, but they can all be used to kill bosses, that's for sure. Now here is my favorite loadout, like I promised at the end. I love using the Brainstormer because it's good crowd control and it's good boss damage at the same time. It's a good all-around shock weapon in general. If you get the good anointed like me, even better. I love the fire Cutspin because it's just insanely high elemental damage and kills bosses in seconds. It literally melts. I love the Hellix because it's very accurate, shoots a long ways away, and it has some projectiles to make sure you hit your target. The Nighthawk Gann is very neck and neck with this Hellix, but I do prefer the Hellix in the long run. The corrosive Cutspin is definitely my favorite. You could see out of showcasing the weapons, it's really hard to compete with a corrosive Cutspin in the armor field. The Hive was about the only thing that could. But that is my favorite loadout right there. We have the Brainstormer, Fire Cutspin, Cryo Hellix, and then the Corrosive Cutspin. Hello Zane Gang, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, hit me with a thumbs up. If you have not joined the Zane Gang yet, please hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to see the build I used in this video, here is max DPS Zane. If you'd like to see some of my extensive luck testing I've done in Borderlands 3, here's a good video for you right there. I'll see you guys in the next one.